Are we actually rolling?
Let's roll, yeah.
Yeah. After, let's not disclose how long that took to get going.
That's 3/4 of an hour, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, who's counting? But
well,
it was that long.
No, if you want to start tapping my watch and going, Tom, get it going.
Interesting things said by uninteresting people. Show hosted by Ben and Tom. Interesting things said by uninteresting people.
Hello. Well, welcome to another episode of Interesting Things Said by Uninteresting People, a podcast where we talk about things that we've found interesting, and I guess we are both uninteresting people. My name's Ben, and as always, I'm joined by this marginally more tech-savvy half, Tom.
Hello.
How's it going, mate? You all right?
Yeah, good. Like we just mentioned, we've just had the biggest headache you can possibly imagine. We were trying to get the audio to work, but it's working. Oh
It's
my
working
God,
now,
I'm
mate.
drained.
And
I'm
that's
out
all
of
that
it.
matters.
I hope you're all excited to listen to Ben for a bit, because I'm gone, man.
Broken.
I'm done.
Utterly broken.
Yeah.
Dude, what have you been up to since we spoke last?
No, not a huge amount. I've obviously had 2 weeks off because it was half term. The pleasures of working in education, but also the crushing reality return of work this week. It hasn't been that bad. I'm making it out to be worse than it is, but it's actually fine.
Do they tie you to like the millstone that you have to sort of, when they crack the whip
Yeah.
behind you, get you pushing it round and round?
Face is literally on the side of it and just scraping along the floor.
Oh, dude.
No,
I feel...
it's not that bad. It's honestly fine.
It's like my sympathy is tempered by the fact that you had 2 weeks off.
Oh yeah, it's amazing.
As my wife did as well. So I'm all out of sympathy. My tears have run
yeah,
dry.
mate. It's like I say. There's a reason people work in education, and that is one of them.
I wanted to tell you about something that I did, which was quite exciting. I don't think I
Ooh.
mentioned this to you.
Go on then.
We took a trip down to the Minack Theatre.
Yes, I think I might have seen a picture.
Oh man, well if
Maybe.
you're paying close attention to my ever popular Instagram feed,
Yeah.
then you probably will. Yeah, dude, and it's really good, and I would recommend it to anyone. Do you
know what?
you included?
Yeah, not to you though.
yeah.
I've been before with my dad a long time ago, and he took me and Matt when we were quite young,
Oh, I see.
and obviously really young. Probably didn't really appreciate it. I remember specifically playing my Gameboy Advance.
Excellent. Best bit about the Minack.
Yeah,
Prayers to have a long battery life.
yeah.
Oh man, we had a wicked time.
What did you see?
We saw the Railway Children.
Oh, cool.
We did not go because it was the Railway Children. We wanted to go, and that was what they were showing.
Fair
but
enough.
it was the actual Minack Theatre troupe as well. It was
Oh,
like
okay, so it's
a
proper-
homegrown.
yeah.
Yeah. And it was, mate. It was really good. Obviously, like a few kiddie actors in it as well
Yeah.
who weren't annoying, which I feel like is all you can ask for
Yeah.
when watching kids in any kind of film or theatre. They didn't
Definitely.
grate too much. They did amazing meatballs with rice at the top.
Oh, nice.
Which, given that my order of telling you about things goes, theatre was good, children were right, meatballs were incredible.
Yeah.
It should give you an idea of
Do
it.
they use microphones, or is it all?
They do.
They do. Because I think
do.
when we went, they didn't, and I remember that's been why I felt disengaged.
Okay.
I'm sure that was the case.
I spent quite a lot of the performance trying to figure out whether each actor was close mic'd subtly,
Yeah.
or whether they had
Some over.
room mics, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, but again, because there was some.
Must have been something sort.
Well, you'd think so, mate, but there were some really weird noises that seemed really overly amplified.
Oh, really?
Like someone would walk across the flagstones, and all of a sudden it started going, doof, doof, and then quiet down again. So I don't know, mate. However they did it, it was good.
It was cool.
I'd recommend it to anyone. It's a bit of a drive down to get. Obviously, we're in Devon anyway,
Yeah.
so it's maybe
It's
2.5 hours.
Deepest, darkest Cornwall, isn't it?
It's as far into Cornwall as you can get.
Yeah.
I was going to describe that very rudely then, but yeah, it's as far as you can get into
Did you
Cornwall.
just go for the day?
Yeah, man. Well, we saw a matinee performance, so we.
Oh, okay.
We were already halfway. We stayed overnight about halfway there, and then got there for I think about 2:00 or so. They had the showing.
Yeah.
And then got back the same day. Yeah.
Ah,
But you
sweet.
could easily tie it in. I mean, you could get a cheap Airbnb or
Yeah.
especially I
Okay.
guess if you go when it's not like peak Cornwall busy season in the
Yeah.
middle of summer.
Mate, I'm sure Randy already knows, but what is I know what it is, but what the Minack Theatre? What's so good about it? What's the attraction?
I should just mate, that's a very good point. Actually, we're sat here talking away. So it's cut. It's like an open air theatre that's cut into the side of the cliff.
Yeah.
So when you sit watching, you're sat on these grass topped ledges. that kind of form that form the half circle of the audience, but you're facing the sea. The whole theatre is just on the edge of the rocks there, and you can see this. We saw the dolphins were there when we were there.
Yeah, that's amazing.
It's really good. So you're a bit exposed to the elements, and apparently they're quite hardcore. Like they won't cancel a performance. It takes a lot for them to turn a performance off.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's all open air. It's
So it's carved out
good.
of stone, isn't it? It's pretty
yeah.
cool.
I didn't realise how old it was as well. But it's been there in one form or other, I think, since like the 1920s, maybe.
Oh, cool.
It's an old thing,
proper old.
Obviously being updated, and they've
Yeah.
cut new dressing rooms and all that kind of business into it. But yeah, man, it's worth checking out if you're ever in Cornwall Way and you fancy something to go and do. It is worth doing. It's down near Porthcurno. No, it's in Porthcurno.
There we go.
Practically right near Land's End, which incidentally, I think we've talked about this before on the podcast. Not worth going to. Rubbish. Rubbish.
Absolute letdown.
Go somewhere else and pretend you're at Land's End, and you'll have exactly the same experience, except without paying £1 million to get in.
Fair enough.
So that is my. I've done some exciting. I'm going to tell you about
I've done the exciting.
Yeah.
Excellent.
It's almost like good news. It's almost like some kind of
Almost,
news that's good.
Wow. If only there was a way we could talk about good news.
Dun dun.
Oh, welcome back.
Do you have any good news this
Do
time?
you know what? I have genuine good news backed up by like a
Thank
real
God
article.
for that.
Things that have been, last time it was pretty hit and miss. What I said and how
It's
I
had
couldn't
a
even
patchy,
find the article.
a patchy history, hasn't it?
Yeah, so here's the good news. So I always start this with like they are, like I should say a company.
They've been busy.
They've been busy. No, basically they're now delivering blood packets to people who need it by drone, which is really cool.
Okay.
So it's like a air drop off but it's not like a normal drone. It's not like the quadcopter sort of thing. It's more of a like tiny plane, and I mean tiny, like you can pick it up with your hands, but still quite big. Like Prime podcasting again.
Cool.
I'm holding my arms
It's
out.
about this big.
It's like a surfboard, I guess. That's kind of probably the best way to describe what it looks like.
Okay.
And it's by this company called Zipline. Because it basically takes off, like an aircraft carrier kind of throws a plane off with a zip, doesn't
Like
it?
a slingshot.
Yeah, like a slingshot,
sure.
They've basically got one of those, and it fires it off, and it delivers. It mainly delivers blood, but it does like other medical.
Does it sort of
supplies as well.
spray it
No,
from the
draining blood?
It's right, because that's pretty weird.
No, so and it drops it literally like literally like Call of Duty when you get an air package, it floats down just like that. And what I was reading was it's been in use in a place called Rwanda.
Yes.
I wanted to say Wakanda, but it's not. And they've been using it there, which I haven't looked this up, so I'm not sure. I assume it's in Africa. I think it is.
Yes. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And it accounts for 25% of all blood deliveries because everywhere out there is so remote and stuff.
Okay.
So that this company, anywhere that's basically not a capital city, doesn't really have those sorts of facilities. So it flies it out, and accounts for 25%. Basically, the stories come up is because they want to launch in the US because there's loads of places in the US which are so I don't know what the right word for it is in the US. In Australia, it's like the outback. It's just like massive plains of stuff where there's a tiny village, literally hundreds of miles from anywhere, and they're saying like loads of Americans don't get what they need because they're so far away. There's not enough people in the town or whatever they need, basically.
Sure, yeah.
So they want to introduce it there. Yeah.
40s.
So they want to introduce it there, but it's really cool. They can fly like really, really quite far. It's way further. I guess it's like got a little engine in it, and it's more of a glider more than anything else. But really cool.
That is really good.
Making
news,
a difference.
Yeah,
some good news right there and there.
And it fulfills one of my I have my criteria for when we have Tom's good news as to whether I feel excited by it. Taking us one step closer to sci-fi futures is definitely one of the big tick boxes.
Oh, as well, they run the whole line as well. So basically, they don't have to get the blood. They have the blood in house. There's doctors and stuff in house.
Barrel of blood.
Yeah, big old barrel of blood. No, so they don't.
What are we going to do with all this?
Yeah. So it's much quicker than like, right? Okay, what blood type is he? Let's go to the hospital and get this and do that. They can phone up, or I'm not sure how they do it. And then, their blood type will be given to them, and they've got those packs ready to go. So there's no we'll contact the hospital and within an hour you'll have it. It's like it'll be there in 20 minutes.
Wow.
Which is awesome for that sort of thing.
That can make the difference, I suppose, as well.
So they run that whole production line.
Wow.
Which is like proper. I guess that's what you'd need for it to be super successful.
Yeah.
But yeah, it all seems good.
Hey, great.
Blood drones.
Blood drones. Oh, man. I don't know whether I want them to call that or not, because that is a great name, blood drones.
Blood drone.
Well, this is where we're going to finish recording, go online. I'm sure I've heard blood drones before, and it's like something really, really evil, really terrible.
It's got like a machine gun attached to it.
Yeah. That is good news, mate.
That is the good news.
In this seamless segue, did you see what else was in the news recently? Because I know we've talked about this a little bit, about Mark Zuckerberg's Congress hearing, his discussion with Congress, explaining himself.
Yeah, explaining the internet to old people.
Oh God, I mean, there's a really good video that I think CNET made.
Yeah,
which highlights the best bits of this, but I really feel for the guy.
I do too.
I do,
big time. Because I guess we should preface it by saying this is all from the Cambridge Analytica thing, which we talked about last time, didn't we?
Yes, yeah.
So basically, Mark Zuckerberg, I think he offered to go to Congress and just chat about. He's not in trouble or anything because they didn't break any laws per se. I guess he is in trouble, but not like, it wasn't
I think
a
they
court
suspect
hearing.
he's in trouble, but they don't really know why.
Yeah. But yeah. That's kind of where it came about, but what they're asking him.
It's ridiculous. It really is. And it is, like, it's the wrong people. I think you said before when we were talking about it.
It's the wrong people asking him those questions. Because they are like, imagine your mum asking.
Yeah, with all respect to everyone's mums.
Mums. Yeah, it's a bunch of relatively old people, no offence to them. Let's say they looked mainly looked mainly over 60.
Yeah.
Didn't they? And some of the questions were crazy.
It is the kind of thing that maybe, like you say, like your mum would text you warning you about.
Yeah.
I mean, there's one saying, saying that's it. He goes, oh man, it does. I can feel my blood boiling a little bit. It's simmering because it actually does annoy me. So one of the senators is saying, can you, congressman, sorry, is saying, can you tell me that if someone asks you for all the data you hold on me, could you give it to them? And Mark Zuckerberg's kind of there going, well, we would never do that. And the guy's saying, yeah, but could you? And it's like, well, why? Well, it's like, what are you asking me?
Yeah, could you? It's like, well, anyone that has that info
could
do that.
There's a lot of things I could do that would be against the law.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I could stab someone right here, but I'm not going to.
Yeah, but if I give you a flat out, yes, we could do that, then you're going to go, oh, God.
I see, yeah.
So,
and there's quite a lot of questions like, if I don't want my information to be shared, does Facebook allow that? And he's like, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it's in the terms of use. When you sign up, there's all these terms of use and everything they're asking him. You almost expect them to say, how do I upload a picture?
Yeah.
You almost
who
expect
can
that
see
question.
my photos that I upload?
You almost expect that, and there's one of them saying, I talk to my son regularly on here. What's to stop anyone else seeing that picture? And Mark's like, well, there's the privacy settings for that.
Yeah.
And there's almost no reply. Like, okay, next question.
It's like it's not.
How do I remember my password?
Yeah. But this is the stupid thing, though. It's not a trick. They're so mistrustful of the whole thing, of the whole technology, Facebook, and it's not when they say Facebook. What they mean is social media.
Yeah,
it's like in the same way McDonald's gets called up as the head of the fast food industry. They get told to make the changes.
It's almost like Facebook. They think Facebook is the internet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's no disc. It's like they don't see it as a separate thing. Like Facebook runs on the internet as opposed to that's Facebook and this is the internet, and Facebook is doing all these terrible things. Like, man, it's funny. I think we should probably link that video when they're just asking him.
Oh, I would.
Ridiculous
Absolutely.
Things.
I think one of the best one is the one that video opens with, where it's saying, "Well, okay, Mark Zuckerberg.
Now that we've sussed you out, bro.
It says that it's free. Well, then how are you going to make money? What's your business model?" And Zuckerberg has to go, "Well, we sell ads." He's like, right, fine.
Like, you can imagine him ticking the box. Like,
yeah.
Okay. Sounds
okay.
yeah.
That checks out. Yeah.
At like quotation.
It's so bad.
And what are these ads you talk about, Mr. Zuckerberg?
Dude, it's so pointless. Yeah, we'll link the video. We won't.
Yeah.
Don't have to go on about
Mate,
it now.
the best part that's come out of it though is poor old Zuckerberg is how evilly the internet has targeted him in a meme-based way. So I think when people found out he's sitting on a little seat, a booster seat, that was a big faux pas. But mate, I read a really interesting article on why he did it, and it was because he's not massively short. He's what was he 5'8", I think, which is I guess on the short side, not massively short.
Yeah,
shorter than average.
Still man size.
Man size.
Yeah.
Sounds like we're aliens.
Yeah.
He's relative human size.
Yeah, normal
And
human height.
they're saying there's a picture of all these photographers in front of his desk that he's sitting at taking photos of him, and they said he didn't want to appear low on that table with all those people taking pictures, so he looked meek.
Yeah,
he needed to have this like authoritarian kind of I'm in control.
Yeah,
and it was apparently the PR or whatever made sure that was the case.
Oh, I bet, man. But then on the other hand, you've got Facebook when they're being asked about whether their role was in voting, in elections and things, saying, "Oh no, it isn't that important." Appearance. We haven't got that kind of. It's like you understand exactly how important that kind of thing is.
Whether he understands or the smart people there, or maybe he was just offered it when he got there. Like, do you want to see? Like, they may have just like, we'll just chuck that on. It may have been as simple as that. But mate, the ongoing thing that he's a lizard in a human skin is so funny. There's pictures of him looking like uncomfortable, and the meme's like when your human skin is itchy, on your tail and stuff.
Oh, it's so mean, so mean.
Oh mate, the best one I saw was first Android goes on trial 2018. that one was brilliant. He's just there like looking bad.
That's not cool. I just want to share with you the fact that this is a very brief, just speaking of androids going on trial, just to get this off my chest, I had to sit with my in-laws and watch part of a documentary about sex robots being tested because none of us could find it in ourselves to change the channel. Ooh. So thoughts and prayers for Ben, please.
Oh no, just awkwardly kind of sitting there like...
the bit of me that died as a dude is aggressively fingering a synthetic
joking.
woman.
Oh my God.
Anyway, I'm not going to say any more about that. But I do have something to say about. I wanted to tell you about this. I haven't talked about this off air, which is, I don't want to shatter the illusion of the podcast.
We do usually talk about everything beforehand,
rehearsed,
while we struggle to get them out to work.
But I've been trying out and finding really great a new app. I'm using an app for it, but it's more the idea, rather than the specific app that I'm using to do it. And I heard this being talked about by a guy called Jordan Harbinger, who also he makes podcasts himself, but he was being interviewed on a different podcast, talking about lots of different things. But he was talking about the importance of having a social network around you, and how when life gets down, it's good to have people that you're in contact with. And he was saying one of the bad things that no one likes doing is when you haven't spoken to a mate for a couple of months, and then you need something, and you kind of go, 2 months ago I could have just asked you for this and it would have been no trouble. But now it's going to be, hey, how's it going? And by the way, have you got a lawnmower I can borrow, or whatever. So what he proposes doing is he uses software to keep on top of how often he's speaking to people. Right. Now this is
writing text for him.
I think you can get apps that do that
because that's pretty low.
No, that's that. Yeah, that, and he says, and he calls it out. He says that sort of stuff is really low. But I realise that this is now that I'm past the age of 30 by a couple of years. This maybe is more of an issue because I'm starting to get friends who've got have settled down with families. They've got more things that are taking their time. So it does become more difficult to line your ducks up and go, right, we're going to hang out or we're going to do this. It does. And I know I was starting to feel that there were certain people who I wanted to stay in touch with who I just didn't cross my mind to text them. I know that sounds really awful, and I realise that does.
Yeah, I get that.
But so I've started using an app, and I tell you what, I can tell you the name of it. It's not a great app, to be honest, but it does what it needs to do. Yeah. So I'm on Android. The app's called Stay in Touch.
Right.
If you wanted to check it out, the icon is two people facing each other in silhouette, two little blue hands, touching fingers, which is a bit weird. But basically, all you do is you go in there, you set it up, you say, right. So, for example, I might do it with you. Say, Tom, I want to speak to you, like text you every couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Say that's my aim. I want to think I'm at least texting you every couple of weeks, and then you just tell it every time you do it. And if you don't do it, it will go bing. You haven't spoken to Tom in a while. Maybe you should check in. It's not. Yeah. Then this is the thing. It is. It sounds a bit. It almost sounds a bit cold and a bit robotic.
Yeah.
But
Mate, if it was writing messages on your behalf, I would see that
right,
as cold.
That would be weird.
Nasty.
Yeah. But seriously, I'm fine. It sounds really bad. I'm finding it really rewarding because I am texting people who I wouldn't text very frequently, and then we have a bit of a chat, and it's great. And you do feel like, I wasn't thinking of texting you.
Yeah.
Exactly, it is,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
and I'm finding things to text people about and go, oh yeah, this, I did check this out.
Yeah.
Do you? And then meeting up as well. I put that as a separate thing, saying I want to see this person at least every month or whatever. Tick and ping it every time you do. Dude, I really recommend it.
Man, that sounds good. I think it sounds probably even better if you're in like a PR job or something where it was your job to make sure everyone. Do you know? If you ran PR for a band, it's like, oh man, I haven't talked to this guy in a while. Do you know? Just keep touching base.
Well, dude, this is. I mean,
should have called it touch base.
Touch base. Well, this is the thing because he, Jordan Harbinger says he uses. I can remember the name of this app. It's called Contactually.
Right.
But it's a CRM. It's a full-on business customer relationship management tool, and I think you pay for it, and it obviously does a lot of businessy stuff that you don't really need. So it's almost, I guess, there's a grey area if you're a freelancer or whatever, and some of your friends are also business contacts. I guess there's a grey area there.
Yeah.
But man, seriously, what's nice for me, I sound like I'm making an advert for doing this, but honestly, but use whatever app you like, but just in terms of just the method of doing it, is it makes me feel like I can relax about it because I know that I will stay in touch with people.
Yeah, just kept on top of it.
Yeah. It's like it's one little stressful thing that just floats off.
That's good.
Yeah, man, I can highly recommend people check it out.
There you go. Ben's recommendation.
You're not on mine. I don't want to talk to you.
Delete.
this already.
You made me delete.
It's too much of it. Yeah.
Great.
I do want to talk to you about something you mentioned to me, which I don't know much about.
Right.
Which was Billy Mitchell's Fall from Grace.
Yeah. Oh man. Okay, so let's preface this by, if you've seen King of Kong, I guess it's an indie movie, isn't it? I guess.
I think so. Yeah, a good indie movie.
It's awesome. It's basically about the best players of old school video games in the world. As in, like, we're talking like Pac-Man and Donkey Kong, and proper arcade cabinet, hyper competitive. There's no rewards, as I say, but it's just the reward is you're the best in the world.
Pride.
And there's pride. And there's a chap called Billy Mitchell, who's like synonymous with all those things. A really talented player, really good, has loads of world records and all that sort of stuff. And basically, to prove that you're doing a world record, you obviously can't do it in front of people all the time because there's no way you'd be able to get the best score ever like that. So they have to record their screens either through videotaping it or recording the screen, but not like a screen recorded on a computer, but actually recording the screen with a video
the
camera
TV.
showing your hands moving around and all that or whatever. And Billy Mitchell's held the title for, I think it's quite a few games. I think the first one he did was like Pac-Man, then it was Donkey Kong.
I think it was Centipede. Did he have? I don't know where I'm pulling that from.
It's
but
mad.
I think,
it's quite a few games, but I think Pac-Man and Donkey Kong are the top ones. And his in the King of Kong, which is like that film, and I think I actually, looking back at it and reading about it now, I actually think he's kind of painted as the bad guy quite badly.
Sure.
He's quite eccentric, I guess, as you would be.
He's
not like a regular guy as such, as he's kind of weird. But yeah, he's been stripped of his titles and everything, and they're saying it's because he filmed it. There's no film of him actually on the arcade machine. It's like a videotape of the arcade machine, which is something you can do.
Yeah.
Which is fine, but they found out from like analysing the tape and stuff, he's been using an emulator, not an arcade cabinet, to play. So, which I think that's the story. It's either a reprogrammed cabinet, or he's emulated it on a computer.
So is that because it opens it up Is that bad because it opens it up for
tampering
and hacking and cheating?
Yeah, just general cheating. I think it's just the fact that you could.
Yeah.
I think there's no evidence in the videos that he did, but there's evidence that he hasn't used the official methods per se.
Isn't there? Because there's a part of the documentary as well where it's called into question, where maybe a bit of the screen during his record kind of flickers, or there's an artifact on the VHS tape or something like that.
Yeah, and you can see that when on this article, you can see that where they've taken a picture of that flicker.
Okay.
So whether that's had something to do with it or whatever, but he's been stripped of all his titles. But what's ultra interesting is that he's come back. This is trending on YouTube, which is why I saw it. He's made a short YouTube video saying, "Nope, all the reports are false. I did these things," and he's properly standing by it. And he said, "We're going to have a proper investigation. I'm going to be completely open and honest with you guys. I'm going to release all my tapes publicly. Everyone can come and have a look at them. I'm going to do all this. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it properly. If you need to see it and all that sort of stuff." So he stood up and said, "I'm going to do it."
Yeah.
So that makes me think. Do you know what? Maybe, he probably. I don't know. To be honest, he probably did do all those games. He probably didn't do it.
Sure.
But the fact he's taken such a big stand makes me think maybe he did do it.
Maybe he did. Yeah,
maybe he's
chance,
just a genuine guy who's just a bit weird and now feels gutted that those have been taken away.
Yeah.
Because there is video evidence of him playing it, and loads of people go around. He's obviously an amazing player.
Yeah.
Because on Donkey Kong you get something called like the kill screen, which is where you reach such a certain score or something that the game runs out of memory.
That's it. Yeah.
And the programmers never thought anyone would get there, so they just left it.
Yeah.
And you can still earn points on that kill screen. And there's videos of him on the kill screen online. Yeah. So he's obviously crazy good.
Well, this is the thing as well. I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head where you were saying that the documentary paints him a bit unfairly. He is
very much painted as the bad guy.
Because you see it after, because what I'm blanking, I'm going to look it up while I'm talking to you about the other chap's name.
Steve Wiebe.
Steve Wiebe, of course it is.
Yeah.
I should have relied on you. I should have Googled it to you. Yeah. Steve Wiebe actually has said, we're mates. It's fine. We're competitive, but it's not the relationship that's in the documentary.
Yeah.
Having said that, though, I know we don't have to dwell on this, but I don't think we've really ever covered it. If you haven't seen King of Kong, listeners,
it's so worth seeing.
It's definitely worth watching.
Yeah.
It's
even if you don't
awesome.
like video games, or even if you don't, it doesn't matter. It's more about the rivalry and the atmosphere and stuff.
I'm sure I'm probably not the first person to make this comparison or this connection, but it is like a Ben Stiller, Vince Vaughn film.
Yeah,
but in real life.
Yeah,
because
you can see where the characters come from.
Dude, Steve Wiebe could be Vince Vaughn.
Yeah.
And Billy Mitchell. Billy Mitchell is Ben Stiller.
Big time.
Just is.
Yeah.
It's like it's him wearing a wig and a weird tie.
Yeah.
It
even looks like him.
Dude, it's so fun. And the way it plays, I know obviously it's cut for the documentary to be like a film, so you get your ups and downs, your different acts. It could just translate into a film. Yeah. And I don't know why they haven't done it. Yeah, because it would be. I think maybe because they've already made that film and it's called King of Kong.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe that's it.
But no, it's such a weird. It's obviously like a massive subculture, as in like I say massive, like really in-depth subculture. There's dedicated fans that will analyze and probably watch those things for fun. Watching someone smash through Donkey Kong for like I think it's 5 hours long. The tape that is which is insane.
Yeah,
but I think in the documentary, Billy Mitchell never plays in front of those cameras, and I can't remember. I think he says he doesn't need to prove anything.
Yeah, that's it.
And maybe it's all that. But there's a video of him online actually, and we'll link this one because I'll send it to you, of him playing Donkey Kong, and someone knocks out the power cable as he's approaching like the higher score area.
Right.
And it's obviously a setup. Really obvious.
Okay.
And it was probably like little stunts like that here and there that just made him really unbelievable.
Yeah, sure.
Because like he's like towards, I don't know, there's loads of people around him watching him, like obviously impressed. You wouldn't watch if it wasn't that good. And someone knocks out the power cable from the back, and like Billy Mitchell's reactions, he knew that was going to happen.
Yeah, sure.
He must have signaled somebody, but it's an interesting weird thing.
You know what you need? UK plugs.
Yeah, nice.
Much
safe.
more difficult.
Yeah,
much more
UK
difficult to
plugs.
pull out. I know they come out, but not easily.
Yeah, you got to give them a tug, especially the ones that come with iPhone. They're a bugger to
Dude,
get out the socket.
They really?
Yeah.
Talking of
But, yeah.
documentaries and films, we should get to what I feel like is the meat
The meat.
of the podcast sandwich,
Let's go.
which is a film that we both saw independently this time because
It was, yeah.
Tom and I have had enough of going to the movies together,
Yeah.
apparently. So that's
Mate, my viewing of it was even more independent. I didn't watch it alone.
Oh,
Don't
okay.
worry. But we got there. It's in Cinema 2, which is obviously quite small here. And me and Caddy got there, and Mark him as well. And Mark was a little late. It's not entirely his fault. He was a bit late.
Just calling it how it is, Mark. Just calling it how
Mark.
it is.
You were late. And there's like no seats left. And they're like, I was like, oh, can we have 3 seats next to each other? They're like, no, we don't have 3 seats next to each other. And I just turned to Kelly, I was like, do you still want to see it? And she's like, yeah. And Mark was like, yeah, I do too. I was like, okay. So Mark sat at the front, Kelly sat like in the middle, and I sat at the back. I was just sat next to this random couple. And yeah, I watched it like that. It was
Fair
a bit
enough.
weird, but
Oh,
it was
man.
no less of an enjoyable film because of it.
It was A Quiet Place.
So good. So good. A Quiet Place is awesome.
I think it's such a good film. I think we kind of tentatively asked before we started recording, what do you think
Yeah,
about
what are
it?
the general thoughts?
Yeah,
was great.
It's a good film.
It's the most stressful couple hours of my life, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, do you want to do like a little bit of non-spoilers? Because I feel like I would like people to go and see it,
Yeah.
and then we'll kind of go, right, spoilers from here.
Yeah.
I mean, stuff that's in the trailer.
Yeah,
we
the
can
premise
talk
is
about.
easy to understand, isn't it?
Yeah.
I guess it's just you have to be quiet in this world
Yeah.
for like on a life or death principle.
Yeah, there's especially in the trailer, you see they're taking great pains. It's about a family. It's about John Krasinski and Emily Blunt as a mummy and daddy
Who are husband and wife in real life.
who are and John Krasinski directed it, so it's good
Yeah.
to see that he can get jobs for his family.
Yeah.
in
I'll
the
employ
film.
you. How much do you
yeah.
want? A couple mil?
So the family are it's set in the near future, I guess.
Yeah, it's like
kind of a
Your post-apocalyptic
Yeah.
kind of hint to it.
run down, and they're walking around on paths of sand
Yeah.
through cities and things, or through towns.
Dude, it starts. It's like it just says day 87. I think it starts at, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yes.
So we assume that's after whatever happened.
Yeah, but you don't know. But it's
it doesn't give you
unclear.
anything.
Yeah, and they're taking, as you say, great pains to be super quiet because very bad things happen when
they're all barefoot as well, aren't they?
Yeah,
They're all
yeah,
barefoot. Not even socks. I noticed.
yeah. Which seems weird.
Do you think socks would dampen the noise
you
of
get
anything?
quiet little socks. Yeah, but hey,
Slipper socks.
totes.
Each
That's what you need. That's what they
Pair
need.
of toes.
Totes.
Do rubber ends so you don't like fall over in the kitchen.
Yeah. No foot based injuries would be be handy.
Yeah.
And it's intense. I think
it's really intense.
one of the reasons why it's so the tensions there is obviously the obvious thing is that it's such a quiet film.
Yeah.
Sound plays a massive part in it, so it's
Most
mostly
of the film
just
is, if not silent, very quiet.
yeah.
And it's good. When I went to see it, at least the cinema was really quiet for it. I didn't
Yeah.
hear much rustling of popcorn or anything.
No, I
was
think
like,
people. It's like when people say the quieter you talk, the more people listen.
yeah,
It was kind of like that.
yeah, it was.
But then it means that the cinema's really quiet when there is a loud noise.
Oh man,
And it's kind of, I wouldn't say it's not jump scares. It's not that kind of film.
No, it's not, is it?
But when a noise happens,
It's just so,
it's
it almost turns
very
into a jump
intense.
scare just because
yeah.
it is.
Yeah. I felt like the whole thing felt like a nightmare, as that kind of thing where you've got this rule in a nightmare or in a
Yeah,
dream.
you can't do that.
You can't do this, otherwise something really bad will happen.
Yeah,
It kind of felt like that, just low level tense
Yeah.
right the way through. If we're talking, sorry, I complete left turn here, but if we're talking about child actors who aren't annoying,
yeah,
the kids in the film are good. I
they're very good. Yeah,
thought they played well.
yeah, they were really good. I think we're gonna have to go into spoiler territory now.
Okay.
So if
Go
you haven't
and-
seen it, go
go
and
and
see
see
it
it.
and switch off this podcast.
But skip ahead.
Skip ahead, yeah, maybe like 10 minutes.
Listen to just to what you want to do is just turn it down for the metrics. Just turn
Yeah,
it down,
turn it
turn the
down.
volume down, leave it running, and then turn it back up again.
Randy's already seen the film, so we should be all right.
Oh, perfect. In that case, yeah, 100% of the listeners. So, spoilers from here on.
Yeah.
What did you think of the way the aliens looked?
They were basically like an ear, weren't they? because it zooms in and it was like a massive ear.
Yeah.
That's, it had all the workings of an ear. I guess it was like scythes for hands. I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I thought the monsters, I didn't think we were going to see them at all. And I was kind of hoping that we weren't, in a weird way. I was like, because you didn't see him for quite well, you see him when he kills off the kid, which is the first horrible bit.
Yeah. I didn't at all see that coming, because it's in the trailers. The lead up to that is in the trailer. Did not see that kid dying.
The worst part of that is the mum's reaction.
Yeah.
Because she knows before John Krasinski can get there that it's over. She literally just breaks down straight away because he's got that little toy rocket, hasn't he? And he's put the batteries back in. And he gets swept away pretty quick, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And that's it.
I thought it was just as a side note. I thought it was quite interesting how they each had a reason to feel guilty, but they didn't belabor it. It just came out gradually. Obviously the mum felt guilty for
not carrying
carrying him. John couldn't get there to save him.
Yeah.
I don't even know what his name is in the film, but it's John Krasinski.
And then the daughter gave him the toy, but gave him the toy without the batteries though.
But
but the kid put them back in.
But even it occurred to me they wouldn't have been there had the other boy not been sick.
Yes.
So it completes. It's a neat little.
Yeah, everyone had the same feeling of guilt, but I think the daughter feels the most guilt, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Because she gave him the toy.
Here's a question for you: why would you have another baby?
Yeah, exactly. This is when I watch shows like Walking Dead, when people are like, I'm pregnant, I'm like, why? Why on earth are you getting pregnant?
For one,
in these...
what about this situation is sexy to you?
Well, yeah, and I mean, I said this to Kelly when I got out of the cinema. I wasn't trying to poke holes or anything, but I said, look, none of us would live through that at all because we make too many mistakes. Like in general, like when you go to bed, you could easily roll out of bed. Not many people do that. But you could knock something off. We're too clumsy to live like that. Yeah. Like I drop stuff a lot. Like I'd be out of there. In general, like just general mistakes.
If you start talking in your sleep, that's it. Game over.
Game over. They sign language throughout most of the film, which is quite interesting.
Yeah.
And what I thought was interesting because all the kids knew it, but obviously because you find out that the daughters, I found that out pretty quickly. Well, I think most people that the daughter's deaf, so they all know how to talk sign language anyway.
Yeah.
Which was quite good, I thought, because it was like they wouldn't have learned it in 80 days.
Yeah, sure.
But they might. I mean, they might have.
Well, it's a handy kind. I mean, it just fits into the story, doesn't it? It explains that, but it also obviously plays a part. In the rest of the story.
Mate, my one gripe of the film, and there's only one gripe because I really enjoyed it. Yeah. Is when he saves his kids, John Krasinski. Yeah. He shouts, obviously, doesn't he, to get the attention of the creature. Yes, we didn't know if it's an alien or just a monster. It's never revealed, is it?
There's a newspaper article that says in his room where it says that a meteorite crashes in Mexico.
So it's aliens.
I think it's supposed to be hinted that it's like, okay. But what's good about the film is it doesn't matter.
No, it's not important at all. Yeah.
It's not,
He already gets hit by it, and because he's got an axe, doesn't he? He gets hit by it initially, and he gets his kids to run to the car, and he stays there, and he drops the axe to get the attention of it again. And I thought, if you know you're going out, take a swing.
Yeah, like, at least have a go.
At least take a swing, because he drops it. He's given up. I'm like, man, if I would be ready, I'd be like, it might not do anything, and it probably won't, but I'd at least want to give it one last shot. One last proper swing. I know he's been hit, he's bleeding and stuff. Yeah. I'd be like, do you know what? If I'm going out, I'll pick the axe back up. All right, let's fucking have it then, mate.
Do you know what I'd do?
What?
House by the waterfall.
Yes. Oh my God, yeah, what a good idea. We live by the waterfall now.
Yeah, because that's where the fish are. That's where the food is that I have to keep. Apparently, I have to keep making this trek. It sounds like, I repeatedly go and get the fish. Oh, dude, so we could just up and move there if you like.
What a strange. Yeah, what a good. I didn't even think about that.
But I'm not even gonna. It's like I'm gonna put a patch on that. Yeah, it's not worry too much about it.
It's like, won't we just live in a massive dam or something? Yeah, constantly. Yeah, you're right.
I don't know. I feel like I don't want to be. I really liked it. I don't really feel like even little criticisms of it. I don't feel like ruined it for me.
The holes.
I thought that the alien design, where the kind of the head comes apart,
Yeah,
it was cool. It was a little bit like an alien boss battle, where it's
Yeah.
hit it with a sound and then
quickly now,
and then now go for the weak spot.
Yeah, definitely.
It was good though. I joke about it, but
it was so tense and stressful. Like that when she finally does have the baby.
Yeah,
and that the whole baby scenario just gets worse and worse and worse. Like they go downstairs and it starts floating, and the baby starts crying. It's just like, what? How could they make this film any more stressful?
Well, it's really good, isn't it? Because it kind of it winds up to the end. It's like there is no getting out of this now. Like this is going to go one way or another. It's coming. You can feel it coming to the crunch for the final few scenes.
Yeah.
But dude, like when the nail gets pulled up in the stairs, it's what I loved about that was there's no surprise to it.
No.
The horror, I guess, or the nightmare comes from that's going to get trodden on.
Yeah.
At some point in the rest of this film.
Yeah, because it happens relatively early on, I guess, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah. But then it's like when she goes into labour, and then it's like, oh, we're going to do this now. You know that when you know it was coming at some point. We're going to do it now.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. But
it's horrible, mate. I thought it would come up again. When the aliens come downstairs, I was like, right, the nail's going to save the day now. Come on, nail.
Just takes a big step on it.
Ooh, like keels over and dies.
My one.
They have to lure all of them down there. Literally.
It was my favourite kind of sci-fi, where it's a short, snappy story. It goes, look, this is the score. It works like this, and then you have a story, and it ends, and it's short, and it's self-contained.
What I really liked about it as well is literally what you're saying is it's like it doesn't look at the wider world. It doesn't need to, and it reminded me of another film which I really like, which 10 Cloverfield Lane. Or is it 11 Cloverfield Lane? I think it's 10.
No, 10. Yeah.
Yeah, have you seen it?
I haven't. No, I know it. I haven't seen it.
Amazing. Honestly, it's a very similar vibe. Like something much worse going on surrounding.
Yeah.
But a self-contained story that exists because of that. But
Yeah.
barely even looks at that because the real monster is what they're up against at the point.
Sure.
Oh man, you need to watch it. You'd love it.
Okay.
Really, really good.
I'll check it out.
It's got the what's it called? The guy that voices Sully in Monsters Inc.
It's John Goodman.
John Goodman, and he's so good in it.
I can imagine he would be actually.
Yeah, it's awesome. But yeah, A Quiet Place, so worth watching.
Definitely.
It's the most stressful 2 hours of your life.
Just to throw this in here, because I know what else it reminds me of, and this is a recommendation to you and to the listeners out there, all three of them, is it reminds me of some of John Wyndham's stuff.
Right.
He was a sci-fi writer around in the 50s. He wrote Day of the Triffids, for example. And is it Village of the Damned? It was an old film that got made from a book of his called Midwich Cuckoos.
Right.
If you like, and they're only short sort of novellas. If you like good sci-fi, just pick up any John Wyndham book. Chocky's good. Day of the Triffids is a decent book. There's one I'm thinking of which will come to me, and maybe I'll put a link in the notes where it's the sea levels start to rise, and it's not Leviathan. It's called something else. Oh, it's going to really bug me. I'm going to do it. I'm going to go and get it. I'm going to go and get it. Ready? This is expert podcasting material. It's called The Kraken Wakes.
It's called The Kraken Wakes.
It's called The Kraken Wakes. Yeah, that's another really good one. And it is the same kind of thing where something bad is happening all over the world, but you get that real 1950s, very British sort of idea of people living through it. It's very, very cool.
Awesome.
Worth checking out. Mate, it is time to move on. It's time to wind this shit down, is what it is.
Oh my God.
As long as you feel like we've covered A Quiet Place.
I think so. I think you just need to go and see it if you haven't. And hope you're not listening to this if you haven't seen it.
Yeah, because why would you?
Yeah.
Of all the spoilers you would want to hear, why
you
would
wouldn't want to hear it from us.
Yeah.
You'd want to read it from like a reputable source that analyses the film.
How can you take John Krasinski seriously as in that kind of role?
Yeah, I thought he did awesome. If you've only seen him in The Office and stuff, because when I first saw the trailer, I was like, oh, it's Jim from The Office.
Jim.
But no, mate, he's really good. Like really convincing. He didn't have like any of what he was in The Office really at all.
Yeah.
And really
he definitely
well
would.
done.
If they ever made a Last of Us movie, I'm sure I'm not the only person to say this.
Yeah, he might work really well for that.
There you go. That's our professional
Yeah.
opinion.
No, really good. One more thing I did love about it as well. I forgot to mention it was
Oh,
the,
for God's sake, yeah.
the festoon, the lights, and when they turned
Yes.
red, you knew shit had
Yeah,
gone
yeah.
wrong. And I was because they're walking back, and she's like mid labour.
Yeah,
She's
yeah.
flicked the switch, they're all red, and that's when like panic and everything sets
Yeah,
in.
yeah. It's a real. It's very. Dude, it's so dramatic. It's.
Oh yeah.
It's very cool.
Just the red to signify it, because it turns the whole farm red.
Yeah.
Everything just goes red, and it's just like, oh my god.
Yeah. I mean, in terms of filmmaking as well. I mean, I'm not to get too pretentious here, but the way it gives them an excuse to light the rest of the film in that really
Yeah.
intense, real colourful kind of
Soaked,
way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Very
dude.
good. Yeah.
It's good. Go and watch it. Mate, it's time for the return of, because we cocked this up last time
We
by
did.
by not doing it,
Cocked it right up.
which is probably the best way to cock it up, because I'm sure this is people's favourite segment of
I
the
assume
podcast.
it would be.
Well, you'd think so, wouldn't you, mate?
Yeah.
Because our listeners obviously have very low standards for sticking with us.
So low.
So this is question from the box,
Question for
where
the boss.
we have a box of questions, and we're going to round out by answering it.
Let's do it.
You can't see this because obviously you're listening, but I'm pulling out a card the way around that I can't see it, so Tom can read it.
Am I going to ask you this time?
Did you? Yeah, I think we'll do. Yeah, do both. But yeah.
Okay. Is justice or forgiveness more important?
Oh man, it's late.
Mate, that's a big one.
Justice or forgiveness? I guess.
My reply to that would be it depends on the severity of the crime.
Yeah, yeah,
So I'd forgive you if you nicked a quid.
yeah.
If you killed my friends,
I would want justice.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, dude. I think, an eye for an eye makes the whole world blind and all that kind of business.
Yeah.
I'd like to think that I'd like to say forgiveness, but I have a feeling if shit went down,
You'd want
I'd
justice.
choose
wouldn't
justice.
You? Yeah. Which is exactly what I wanted from The Walking Dead,
Oh man,
but did not get at this season 8.
I've already had an earful of your bile about your rage at the end of series 8.
Oh man, it's just Anyway, let's not go there.
Tom's not happy with it. Maybe we'll talk about it
Maybe.
at some point.
Maybe.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
If you've managed to stick with us through the entirety of yet another episode, what are we on, 14 now?
Yeah.
I think we passed the
Whoa.
unlucky 13 without saying anything about it,
We did.
which was respectable.
Maybe the setup today was punishment for that.
That was it. It was episode 13, Luck. Come back to haunt us.
Yeah.
But if you have got this far, I'm not even going to pretend that people probably want to like the video if you're watching it on
Like
YouTube.
the video.
Subscribe on iTunes. You can do all that. You can do it.
You can do all that. And why not?
If you've got nothing else better to do, I suppose
Do you know what? I
could.
think Dave might be listening.
Hey,
Dave, if you're listening, you've made it this far. Cheers, buddy.
that means he's literally doubled the number of listeners.
You're the real MVP. Randy's like an old listener. We take him for granted now.
We do. Absolutely,
So we
yeah,
just
yeah.
know he's here.
gone off the board. He just phones it in now.
He's-
Hey, we've actually got a couple of, at least one 5-star review on iTunes now. So we must
Whoa.
be doing something even modestly that
correct.
appeals to people who are friends with us.
Yeah.
Thanks as always to Tony Thaxton for our theme tune.
Yep.
I assume that's been edited in.
Yeah.
I guess if the tech gremlins
Yeah.
haven't, you either heard it or you didn't. All right.
Yeah.
It's late, man. It's late. We've been doing this for a long time. Where can people find you if they fancy saying hello or asking you a question about,
All the stuffs.
all the stuffs?
At Bite Review on the old Twitter.
I'm on at Benji1Lung. Leaves a comment, asks a question.
How do I
yeah.
unsubscribe? How do
God,
I...
this talk about going out with a bang. It's like we just
I
sizzle
know.
it right to the end, push through. All right,
Goodbye.
goodbye.